Happy Good Friday and happy Easter, everyone. Welcome to this YouTube video. Today I'll be going through my round 6 tips ready for the Good Friday and the Easter week. Here we go. Let's not waste any more time and let's get stuck into it. Alright, here we go. The first game is between Brisbane and Collingwood at the Gabba. Collingwood on a roll here, winning 4 in a row. They had a dominant win over Sydney last week. This game's going to be a big blockbuster because as the Lions have not been beaten so far this year at the Gabba. Oh my goodness. So it's at the Gabba, and I don't think Collingwood will be able to maintain and get the hold of Brisbane even at their home deck, because Brisbane play so well as the 2024 premiers that they're called the comeback kings. No matter how much they down by at one stage, they always come back and win. Just for example, like in the past 5 games where they came back and literally won everything and stayed undefeated. So I'm just going to back in the Lions because Brisbane look to be the better side at the Gabba. So I'm just going with the Lions to get this done. My big call is Brisbane trail by 30 points at halftime, but in the end they will win by 10 points. Alright, the next game is between North Melbourne and Carlton at Marvel Stadium, 3:20, because it's the Good Friday game. We'll try to raise money for every goal kicked. Now, look, these two teams are really struggling on their form of scoring, and Carlton only won their first game of the season last week at the Gather Round. It was really hot there, apparently, according to my mates there. It was 36 degrees when Carlton absolutely belted wet toast. And North Melbourne, look, they were really good last week against Gold Coast in the first 3 quarters. Won the last. They just can't handle a hit, and Gold Coast ran out to a 52-point win and stay undefeated. Obviously, either one of those two teams will have to go to 2 wins, unless it's a draw, obviously. I believe that Carlton look to be the better team at the moment, because Carlton can handle hate last week against West Coast and North. Look, yeah, and I'm just going to go with the Blues to get this done. Carlton to get this done by 39 points. The next game is between West Coast and Essendon now off the stadium. Now, look, West Coast are still struggling to find a win here this season, and the Bombers coming off with an impressive win over Melbourne last week by 39 points. I reckon the Bombers look to be the stronger side because, look, West Coast, their form has been really struggling, and I don't know what the coach will have to do if the Eagles want to get better and get their first win of the season. So, yeah, so you know what? I'm just going to the Bombers to get this done because they look to be the better side. Essendon to get this done by... let's make this a similar margin as last week. 36 points. That's 3 off from last week. The next game is between the winless Melbourne and Fremantle at the MCG. Now, look, Melbourne, obviously, lots of supporters currently want to book their trip back to Mount Buller as their team is so shit. They've played 5 games and have not even won a game. They only won one of the past 11 games, I think, because that's what I checked on the news online. But Fremantle, their form's actually okay. Fremantle, and last week, obviously, in round 4, Freo and the Dogs did play a good game, with the Fremantle Dockers holding off the fast-surging Dogs. And, do you know what happened last time when Melbourne and Fremantle played at the MCG? It was all Freo wins. So, I'm going to say Freo to get this done in a tight battle and hand Melbourne their 6th loss in a row and still leaves them to still searching for a win. Because the Melbourne's form is just not good enough. It's not up to the AFL standard. So, I'm just going to go with the Fremantle Dockers to get this done by... Let's make this a really close one. Let's make this 10 points. The next game's between Adelaide and the Giants at the Adelaide Oval. Now, Giants, they've only lost one of the past 5 with an impressive win over the Saints last week at Norwood, and Adelaide's forms have been starting to drop off after winning the first 3 games. They've lost the next 2 against the Suns and the Cats. This is going to be an interesting game. I think I'm going to stick with the Giants to get this done, as the Giants' form is just much better than the Crows at the moment. So, I'm going to go with the Giants to get this done by 22 points. The next game's between Richmond and Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. Now, Richmond's form, they've been shocking. They only won 1 out of 5 games. And getting smashed like against Fremantle in the second half is just not up to standard. And Gold Coast form's been really hot at the moment, even at home and away. They're still undefeated, and they should go undefeated after 5 games as well. So if I was going, I would sit in the Gold Coast cheer squad just for a bit of fun. But yeah, I think the Suns should get this job done. Gold Coast to get this done by 42 points. Alright, the next game's between Sydney and Port Adelaide at the SCG. Now, Port Adelaide obviously didn't play their best of footy when they met the same team in last year's preliminary final, going down by 36 points. Where the Swans went to the grand final, but got absolutely clapped by the Lions by 60 points at the MCG, where Brisbane went on to win the 4th premiership in their history. Anyways, let's talk about this game and not worry about last year's premiership winners and losers. And look, the Swans, they've not been consistent throughout this season so far. They haven't won against the Pies last week because they played a bit of poor footy, and the Collingwood went all over them at the Adelaide Oval. In Port Adelaide, they absolutely demolished Hawthorn to hand Hawkball their first loss of the season by 30 points. Hawthorn didn't fight back. At least they didn't win, but they didn't lose by like 70 points, 80 points. Thought they were going to do it, but doesn't matter. But that's a good thing, because I got 9 out of 9 in last week's footy tipping gun around. But will Port Adelaide put up a fight against Sydney? I don't think so, because look, the Swans, last year's grand finalist, even though Port Adelaide's a good side, Sydney at the SCG is going to be really tough. Even with a new coach, I think it's going to be really tough for the Power to win. So I'm just going with the Sydney Swans. The Swans to get this done by 26 points. The next game's between the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. Dogs and Saints have been inconsistent, sitting 12th and 9th respectively. Dogs have won 2 of the past 5, and the Saints have won 3 of the past 5. Saints have beaten the Cats, the Tigers at Marvel, and then the Power at the Adelaide Oval. But I don't think they can get this job done against the gallant dog side, which most of the time the Dogs really try to impress them, and they shouldn't get any trouble. Even though the Saints do like playing at Marvel, though, I don't think the Saints will get this done, though, because the Dogs are on a really good side and really stronger side. So I'm going to go with the Dogs. The Western Bulldogs to get this done by 15 points. The next game's between Geelong and Hawthorn. The last game of this round is the big blockbuster Easter Monday clash. Here we bloody go. I'm ready to take it on, Hawk. Well, Geelong and Hawthorn obviously played some really close encounters, but it can't be anyone's game. Hawthorn have been really impressive for the first 4 games before playing Port Adelaide, where they lose their first game against the Power by 31 points. Geelong, look, the Cats, obviously a little bit inconsistent after just losing to the Saints and the Lions so far. Well, they came from 30 points down, and I was saying, when we were losing by 30 points, I was like, fuck this. I thought we were done, but in the end, we came back with Patrick Dangerfield and Jeremy Cameron kicking 4 goals each to lift them over the line against Adelaide by 19 points. I expect Dangerfield to lift our team up against Hawthorn. It's going to be a big blockbuster clash, but I'm going to go with the Cats to get this done because obviously it's my team. I don't want to tip against them. Geelong to get this done by let's go 18 points against our big rivals, Hawthorn. There could be punch-ons at that game, so please watch out. I'll be live streaming it. Alrighty, guys. If you guys enjoyed this Easter and Good Friday week footy tipping, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for everyone who likes, comments, subscribe my other YouTube videos and my live streams. And I'll see you in my next live stream, either here or... Because on Friday, I'll be heading to Ballarat, so... I'll see if I can get a live stream or 2 in Ballarat before streaming the Geelong v Hawthorn game right back in Vermont at home. Alright, thank you for watching. See you in another video and have a good Friday and a happy Easter, everyone, to all my subscribers that subscribe to my YouTube channel.